$1 on Green Giant Idaho russet potatoes, $5.99 for a 5-pound bag. Save $2 on fresh and tender boneless pork chops, $4.99 per pound. For your mac and cheese dish, Catelli macaroni, $2.19 for a 500-gram box. 1-pound box of Bluebonnet margarine sticks, just $1.99. Save $1.20 on Charmin Ultra Soft or Strong Toilet Tissue, $4.99 for a package of 4. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday, November the 1st. I'm Tarai Trott in for Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. People seeking Bermudian status should have to do a course on the island's history, culture, and society, and children of Bermudians should automatically be Bermudian. These are among the recommendations of the Consultative Immigration Working Group, which submitted its report to Immigration Minister Walton Brown Jr. yesterday. Here's Gary Moreno with a look at some of what it contains.
The Immigration Working Group, as it is more commonly called, was mandated to address principles and make recommendations on mixed-status families, permanent resident certificate holders, and the granting of Bermudian status. There was significant attention paid to mixed-status families, in which one or more members of those families could have Bermudian status, others being permanent resident certificate holders, and others still having neither. The working group urges that in future mixed family situations are not created as a result of unintended consequences brought about by immigration legislation or policy. For instance, in families where a child born between 1983 and 1986 and was born in Bermuda or brought here before age 6 qualified for status under the 1994 Act. However, their siblings still resident here, including those attending overseas university, did not because they were too old. The recommendation is that the latter be eligible to apply for the grant of Bermudian status. In terms of permanent resident certificates, the Commission urges the introduction of a new mechanism which eliminates gender, racial and financial bias and gives security of tenure to long-term residents. A suitable time frame, it says, should also be established by which a person can be considered a long-term resident. Further criteria used to make a determination on long-term residence should be balanced through a points-based system, where instead of individuals having to meet all the requirements on the list of criteria, the list should be weighed by points to give equal opportunity. Also, consideration should be given to the impact of granting PRCs on Bermudian employment, opportunity, and upward mobility. As it pertains to Bermudian status, the group urges that children of Bermudians should be Bermudians. That is to say, if at least one of a child's parents is Bermudian, then that child is Bermudian. The granting of Bermudian status, the group goes on, should be a privilege gained through a rigorous process with a number of criteria included. Among them, length of residence, family connection, commitment and contribution to the island, possession of a permanent resident certificate, and as we mentioned at the top, applicants should be made to complete a course on Bermudian culture, history and society, and then pass a test. Again, as in all other areas, consideration must be given to the impact on Bermudian job seekers. The Commission also warns that enforcement and compliance efforts should be sufficiently stringent to ensure that any abuses are effectively dealt with. The Commission saying while consideration must be given to attracting and retaining global talent as well as investment and economic stimulation, focus should also be honed in on ensuring Bermudians are given priority in policies and their implementation. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Again, this is just some of what is contained in that report from the Consultative Immigration Reform Working Group. Britain's opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn today launched a vigorous attack on the British government's handling of the overseas territories, particularly Bermuda. The issue once again centers around so-called tax havens and saw the Labour Party leader heavily criticize Prime Minister Theresa May in the House of Commons for blocking attempts by the French government to place Bermuda on a European Union blacklist of tax havens, claiming the UK government's policies on tax meant there was one rule for the rich and another for everyone else. Mr. Corbyn, who has a history of calling for Bermuda's low tax system to be investigated, said the British government's protection of Bermuda showed it was not serious in cracking down on tax havens.
The Isle of Man VAT avoidance allegations are part of a wider leak from the Bermuda-based law firm said to be on a similar scale to the Panama Papers. Will the Prime Minister commit the HMRC to fully investigate all evidence of UK tax avoidance and evasion from this leak and prosecute where feasible?
Given the Right Honourable Gentleman an assurance in my first answer that HMRC does take these issues very seriously, does investigate and does take action, and where appropriate, tax loopholes are closed.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's rather strange then that Britain reportedly has blocked a French-led proposal which would have placed Bermuda on the European Union tax haven blacklist. Perhaps the Prime Minister could explain why that would be the case.
Can I say to the Right Honourable Gentleman that he raises the issue of the British Overseas Territories. In fact, this government has taken action in relation to those British Overseas Territories, action that was not taken by the previous Labour government.
Stay tuned. We'll have more news after the break.
What would happen to your business if your premises flooded, there was an accident on site, or your computer systems were hacked? Many businesses find it difficult to recover from these and other unforeseen events, such as fire or theft. That's why you should talk to our specialists at Friesenbrook-Meyer Insurance. We will customize coverage to best protect your business against extreme financial loss.
Covering possibility.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I enjoy the service because it's fast and I get my packages in good time, and I like how they shrink it so that you don't have to pay as much, and I get cashback rewards, which are great.
For me, it was about convenience. I work in town, and convenience is the #1 thing.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Hi, I'm Charles Webb, inviting you to join me on Monday nights at 8 for Season 2 of Inside Bermuda Homes, a program showing how Bermuda lives. That's Monday nights at 8 o'clock on ZBM TV 9 for Inside Bermuda Homes.
The government's controversial amendment to the Human Rights Act in favor of Bermudians, where concerns immigration, passed the Senate today despite opposition from the One Bermuda Alliance. The bill, entitled Bermuda Immigration No. 2 Act 2017, seeks to prevent non-Bermudians from legally getting around the Immigration and Protection Act. What was notable about today's Senate sitting was that all of the independent senators voted with the government to get it passed. Before today's Senate debate, there had been quiet talk of a scenario in which the amendment to the Human Rights Act could be defeated if all 3 of the independent senators voted with the opposition. But that scenario did not play out, with all 3 independent senators, James Jardine, Michelle Simmons, and Senate President Joan Dillis-Wright, voting in favor of the amendment alongside the 5 government senators. Political newcomer Michelle Simmons gave a candid speech on why she felt it necessary to support the government's bill.
It is perfectly reasonable for countries to decide the conditions under which persons can emigrate in order to protect their borders and also to defend the rights of its citizens. The rights of Bermudians are also an important part of this debate. And I'm very disappointed that in some remarks I've heard this morning, the rights of Bermudians have not been mentioned. Bermudians have expectations, and one of them is to be protected in their own country.
Meanwhile, speaking to us outside of the Senate chamber, independent Senator James Jardine expressing his support for the bill, however, with some advice to government.
Yes, I think the principle of the bill is a good one. I've done a fair amount of research on all of this, including the European Convention on Human Rights, our own Constitution, our own Human Rights Act. And I think I support the minister. I understand the issues that are before him, and certainly there are issues that were there under the previous government. I think for his situation is urgent, and I understand the reasons for that urgency. And so I believe that this amendment is necessary in order to give the government and the minister and his new bipartisan commission an opportunity to look at not only the Human Rights Act but also the Immigration and Protection Act. I think the only concern I have is that there is no time limit on this. In other words, this is a blanket primacy exemption.
Government Senator Jason Hayward, also the Junior Minister for Education, Social Development and Sports and National Security, expressing alarm over the number of Bermudians who continue to be unemployed while non-Bermudian employment rises.
And that should bring alarm to all in the country, but it's particularly important for this particular debate where non-Bermudians are seeking to remove themselves from work permit control. That will create more competition in the job market, and what it ultimately does is begin to further displace Bermudians in Bermuda.
Mr. Hayward telling us it is not uncommon for immigration laws to have preeminence over human rights laws. However, while stressing his One Bermuda Alliance backs Bermudian rights, opposition Senator Andrew Simons took issue with government's approach.
We want the government to be able to make decisions about who can live and work in Bermuda. That's very straightforward, and we agree with that in principle. Our objection was simply that this approach goes too far. Instead of being specific in its attempts to sort of correct problems in the framework, it removes all human rights protections from the immigration process.
In the end, despite the opposition stance, the vote came down 8-3, the 5 government senators along with the 3 independents versus the 3 opposition senators. The bill now heads to the governor to be given royal assent. The self-described Queen of Bermuda will be making a so-called royal return to the stage next weekend. We're talking about Bermuda's favorite female impersonator, Sybil Barrington, who will be officially celebrating the landmark Supreme Court ruling in favor of gay marriage.
A Supreme Court judge ruled in favor of gay couple Winston and Greg DeRoche, who appealed against the Registrar General for their right to marry under the Human Rights Act, essentially making same-sex marriage in Bermuda legal. Well, now that the busy summer period is over, organizer and performer Mark Anderson says a celebration is long overdue.
This needs to be celebrated, not just for me, but for the entire gay community. Because when the same-sex marriage was highlighted on May 5th, everybody was like, wow, it happened. And for me, even though it had happened, there was still no place for us to go and say, wow, let's celebrate this, and that's when it hit me. I said, okay, a show, we need a show. And that goes to show you that even though we had the landmark ruling, there's still no place for the gay community to really go and, and celebrate.
It was an occasion he thought he would not be around to witness.
When it came on, y'all's news and stuff, I was like, this stuff is really happening. And I would say for the first 24 hours, for me, I was very numb. I had friends of mine that live abroad that was calling me and said, Mark, is this really true? Because they couldn't even believe it, Some people, like the younger generation, of course, they were hipping and hollering and they're very happy. But for people that are like me, that are in my age bracket, anyone that's 40 and over, maybe 45 and over, for me, it was very taboo.
According to Mr. Anderson, although same-sex marriage is legal, the support for gay people in Bermuda is still lacking. But the creation of a hotline intends to change that.
When I left Bermuda, and that's something that I regret, because it was like I had to deal with all my issues in somebody else's country when I should have been able to deal with it in my own, you see. And one of the things that I like about it is not just for the gay community, but it's also to assist families of gay children. The parents, the siblings, the aunts, the uncles, the grandparents, whoever's dealing with their child being gay.
And there could be other benefits to introducing gay marriage.
If Bermuda government was to advertise Bermuda in the right light for same-sex marriage and use Bermuda as a tourist destination for same-sex couples to come here on a honeymoon, to come here with their families, to enjoy Bermuda and use me in the right light to have a show, they'll be out of debt.
So what can you expect from next Friday's celebration?
Well, a high-class show of free-spirited drama.
Miss Sybil herself is taking the stage with 9 local and overseas performers to thrill audiences, and a special surprise that may or may not involve wedding bells. The event is at City Hall, and tickets are available online at bdatix.com. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And no word yet on whether or not PLP MP Wayne Furbert still plans to carry out his promise to bring a parliamentary bill to outlaw gay marriages. Once again, this 18 and over event takes place next Friday, November the 10th at City Hall at 9 p.m. Fair skies and warmer, more humid conditions will persist through the night, along with a steady breeze. Let's send it over to AccuWeather headquarters for the details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic day today. It was gorgeous out there. We do have that front that is now to the north of us and kind of falling apart. So really not much going on in our weather for the next couple of days. It's going to be beautiful. We could see maybe a few clouds in some places at times, but mostly sunny skies. Humidity a little bit less. So really gorgeous conditions here across the island. Temperature right now around 76 degrees. Humidity 77%. The winds out of the east from 8 to 12 knots. The waves inside the reef very mild, around 1 foot, and the waves outside 3 to 5 feet. So very calm conditions out there. Tonight partly cloudy, staying dry. Temperatures at 71 degrees. Tomorrow partly sunny. We could see just a very light brief shower in some areas, but really for the most part it is going to stay dry and beautiful. Temperatures 77 degrees. Our high tide 7:19 p.m. today. The second one 7:47 in the morning on Thursday. Now if you're traveling, we have a couple forecasts for you. Toronto, we are seeing some wet weather. It's mild though, 60 degrees. New York, Boston, Atlanta, Miami, and London. Everyone here is dry. We see a couple clouds in places. Temperatures in New York at 71. That is pretty warm. Boston 69, Atlanta 75, and Miami 84 degrees. So nice and warm there. Jamaica, especially in the evening, could see a couple thunderstorms into those nighttime hours. Barbados 89 degrees with some showers. And Trinidad 91 degrees, so hot and muggy. Taking a look at the next couple of days, it's going to be dry and nice. A mix of clouds and sunshine every day through Monday, and temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all your latest news and weather.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
And Bermuda's national hockey team head to Jamaica for qualifiers. Nathan Trott helps West Ham United win, and Patrick Nisbet continued competing in Belgium. Here's Earl Basin with tonight's sports report.
Come tomorrow, Bermuda's national hockey team will depart for Jamaica in hopes of qualifying for the CAC Games next year. One of those people involved in the national hockey team is Bermuda Broadcasting's very own Jasmine Patterson. Jasmine, the hockey team, national team, last in competition back in 2015 at the CAC Games. What is the aim and ambition of the team this time around trying to qualify?
Well, in 2014, that was the last time the team traveled. I wasn't selected as part of that team. However, this year, our fitness levels are, I would say, 50% much better. We're really out there to win. We're competing against 5 other teams: Jamaica, Guyana, Panama, Guatemala, Puerto Rico. We're playing Puerto Rico on Sunday is our first match, and we really just want to go out there and put some goals in the net, because that's something that our team have always struggled with over the years in previous competitions, and our mindset changed, especially after beating Shippensburg, the national Division II college side this summer in August. So we really have that confidence now, and we want to show people what we can do with this sport.
Nathan Trott and his West Ham United under-23 teammates took on Bristol Rovers in their second group stage fixture of the Checkatrade Trophy last evening. The home side took the lead in the first attack of the game. A Byron Moore cross was headed home by Tom Nichols, beating Trott. That goal came in just 25 seconds of the match. West Ham drew level in the 42nd minute when Ben Johnson was pulled down in the area, and Tony Martinez tucked the ball away for the score to be 1-1. 8 minutes later, West Ham was 2-1 ahead as Martin Samuelson fired home a powerful shot from inside the box. West Ham would score a third goal in the 76th minute when another Martinez goal, his second of the game, made the final score 3-1. Patrick Nisbet continued competing in the CSI-2 and CSI-YH1 Upper Gladbeek International Horse Jumping event in Centaur Park, Belgium. On day 3, Nisbet competed in only one class. Nisbet and Jawar de Jensbach Z finished 5th, competing in the 1.30 meter CSI-2 in 2 phases class. The pair recorded a clear first phase time of 61.89 before clocking a clear second phase time of 29.49. Vanessa James and Morgan Cypress of France continue competing in the free skating pairs competition at the 2017 Skate Canada International ISU Grand Prix. The French pair finished second in the free skate program after recording a score of 70.70. Canadian pair Megan Dumont and Eric Redford won the program with a score of 75.84, while Alyona Sevchenko and Bruno Mascot from Germany finished third with a score of 65.23. Michael Franklin and Noah Brown began competing in the $5,000 men's Meadow Mill Open in Baltimore. Brown went down in 5 games to Omar Sobi from USA. Sobi jumped out to an early 2-0 lead, winning the first game 11-6 and the second game 11-8. But Brown would fight back and win the third game 11-3 and the fourth game 11-8, and it would come down to a fifth and final game that Sobi would win 11-4 to win the match 3-2. Franklin would advance to the next round of the qualifiers after he defeated Patrick Baddour from Canada in 4 games. Franklin would comfortably win the first game 11-3 before winning the second game 11-9. Baddour would win the third game 11-4, but Franklin would end the game as a contest, winning the fourth game 11-9. Franklin attributed his success in this match to a new strength.
I think the mental toughness side is something, a part of my game that's improved in the past few months. Finally learning about, like I said in our last talk, that you just got to find a way to win even if things aren't going your way. Mentally it comes down to that. If physically you're struggling a little bit, then you've got to still kind of compensate, but whatever you can do to get the win.
Pools and playing format have been announced for the 2017 Rugby America's North Sevens happening in Mexico City, November 25th and 26th. 10 men teams including Bermuda and 7 women teams, also including Bermuda, will compete in the 2-day tournament. The Bermuda men's team have been drawn in Pool B alongside Jamaica and the Dominican Republic. On the women's side, a round-robin tournament over the 2 days will take place, and we'll see Bermuda take on the likes of Jamaica, Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Dominican Republic, and French Guyana. The 2017-18 Bermuda Bowl Hockey League season is well underway, and today we bring you the current point leaders in the division. Jeremy Estey from the Winnipeg Jets is the league-leading goal scorer with 8. Corey Cuette has 7 goals for the Ottawa Senators, while Matt Benson from the Winnipeg Jets has 6 goals and is in 3rd place. Estey leads the overall point standing with 13. Cuette has 10, and Benson is the only other player in double digits with 10 points. In the goalkeeping goals against average department, Derek Holmes from the Winnipeg Jets has an average of 2.27 goals a game. Scott Steele from the Ottawa Senators has an average of 2.69 goals a game, and Derek Farmer from the Montreal Canadiens has the 3rd best average of 3.60 goals against per game. The 2017-18 Snooker League season got underway with 4 matches being played. The Spanish Point Boat Club's number 1 team defeated RAA Rebels 5-0. Chris Dawkins won his match against Kyle Williams 58-38. Stuart Greenslade defeated Chicago, Washington 50-31. The doubles frame saw Paul Fedden win both games against Jelani Hollis 48-44, 46-36. The doubles match was won by Ed Gomes and Dakin defeating Washington and Williams 55-24. In other matches, Watford Sports Club defeated Sands Boat Club 2 5-0. Sands Boat Club 1 edged Spanish Point Boat Club 2 3-2, and Warwick Workman's number 2 team defeated Warwick Workman's number 1 team 5-1. In commercial league bowling action at the Warwick Lanes, it saw the Superstars defeat the Sunset 4-0. The Pin Porsches defeated the Secret Weapons 3-1, while the 10-Pin Mafia defeated Cool Runnings 3-1. The BPS Blue Lanterns defeated the Spinners 3-1. The games between Sweet Life and the Braves, as well as BTC and We Do It Big, both ended 2-2. And finally, tonight we'll see the Dudley Eve semifinals at the BAA Field. At 7 p.m., the PHC Zebras will take on Robin Hood, and then at 9 p.m., the North Village Rams will face off against the Devonshire Cougars. And good luck to the national hockey team who are off tomorrow. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Colonial, where people come first.
Island Soul, where fashion meets comfort. Island Soul provides fashionable footwear hand-selected by our podiatrist that offers premium comfort. Located at 60 Victoria Street, Hamilton, Island Soul contains a friendly trained staff prepared to assist you with our vast selection of footwear, both male and female, with all sizes and widths available. Compression and travel socks, amongst other accessories, are also available in addition to a shoe modification and repair service, making Island Soul a one-stop shop for all your footwear needs.
It is time to fall back, Bermuda. Daylight savings time comes to an end this weekend, so before you head off to bed on Saturday, be sure to set your clocks and your watches back by 1 hour. The official time change is Sunday morning at 2 a.m. So think of the seasons and fall back. The sun sets earlier, sure, but you get an extra hour of sleep. So this Saturday, wind those watches and clocks back. Just a friendly reminder brought to you by Bermuda Broadcasting.
And before we say goodnight, we gave our own Jasmine Patterson, as you saw earlier, a little send-off this afternoon ahead of her flying to Jamaica tomorrow with the national women's field hockey team. The Bermuda Broadcasting Company would once more like to wish Jasmine and the entire national team the best of luck at the Central American and Caribbean Game qualifiers, which start on Sunday. We'll be right behind you all the way, Jasmine. And, of course, we always take any chance we can get to celebrate with some cake. Go Team Bermuda. Well, that's our broadcast for tonight. I'm Tarai Trott. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.